All right, buckle up, print enthusiasts, because we are diving headfirst into the world of jazz hands. Embellishments.
Oh, yes.
You know, those amazing effects that make printed pieces pop, sing, and practically leap off the page?
Mm-hmm.
We're talking about that touchy-feely raised UV, those dazzling, can't-look-away foils, the stuff that makes you go, ooh la la, when you hold it.
Absolutely. It's incredible how these extra touches can transform something ordinary into something truly special. It's all about creating that memorable experience, both visual and tactile.
And speaking of creating memorable experiences, we've unearthed some seriously cool stuff from the wild world of print innovation.
Oh, yeah.
We've been digging into what makes certain print shops stand out, those places that aren't afraid to push the envelope and deliver that genuine wow factor.
Right, the ones doing something different.
Exactly. And one name that kept grabbing our attention, a company doing some seriously unique things, is bigDAWGS. That's bigDAWGS, but remember, we say it like bigDAWGS.
bigDAWGS, got it.
And the mastermind behind it all, a fascinating figure named Edgar Davin, sounds like a real game changer.
He certainly is. Edgar Davin founded bigDAWGS back in 2009, but his background, well, it stretches way back. He's been in direct mail since 1994.
Wow, okay. So a long history there.
Yeah, and what's particularly interesting is his diverse expertise, not just print, but also electronics and computer programming.
Electronics, okay, that doesn't...
Really gives you a sense of why his company approaches things from such a unique angle. His core idea: we add electronic devices to marketing. Simple as that.
Talk about thinking outside the box. And when you look at where bigDAWGS started, it totally clicks. They weren't just churning out your standard flyer.
No, not at all.
We're talking about custom-designed sound devices.
Yeah.
Those musical greeting cards that always catch you off guard.
Yeah, exactly. Those things that make you smile. That was their initial playground, using their in-house tech know-how to create marketing that literally had a voice. But the story doesn't end there. They haven't just stuck with sound. They've continually evolved in some truly fascinating ways.
Oh, yeah. From those initial sonic surprises, they've exploded into a full-on tech integration powerhouse. We're talking embedding video LCD screens right into printed pieces.
Imagine the impact of that.
Right. Then you've got vibrant LEDs that light up your message, those super handy web USB devices. You plug them in, they go straight to a website.
Super practical.
And even cutting-edge NFC technology, for instance, like contactless interaction. They're definitely not afraid to play with the latest gadgets.
Their commitment to pushing boundaries is really what sets them apart. They're not just using off-the-shelf tech, they're figuring out how to seamlessly blend it with the physical printed world.
Creating something entirely new.
Exactly.
Which brings us to another seriously exciting aspect of what they do, their collaboration with Konica Minolta, seeing just how far they can push those printing machines.
Right, beyond their regular capabilities. That kind of synergy, well, it often leads to some truly unexpected and brilliant results.
It shows a real proactive spirit, doesn't it?
Definitely. They're not waiting for innovation to happen. They're actively involved in shaping it. And it's worth noting that Edgar Davin's inventive streak, it's also shown by patents he holds, just showcases his knack for coming up with novel solutions.
Very cool. So we've seen how bigDAWGS is integrating all sorts of cool electronics to create marketing that really grabs your attention. But you also flagged something incredibly special they're doing with those gorgeous embellishments we were raving about earlier.
Back to the embellishments, yes.
It's like they've discovered a way to make these premium tactile finishes even more.
Well, BIG.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
They've pioneered a really unique printing process, specifically designed for adding amazing embellishments to synthetic materials. Synthetics. Okay.
Yes, and this is where things get extra interesting because it's a patent-pending process, which tells you it's something truly novel.
It certainly sounds like it. So what's the secret sauce? What makes this process so special?
Well, the magic lies in their ability to apply these fantastic embellishments, think luscious raised foil and glossy spot UV, onto synthetic substrates.
Like vinyl, polyester, those kinds of things.
Exactly. Vinyl, polyester, materials known for their toughness, which is great for things that need to last. But traditionally, they've been, well, a bit tricky to work with when you want these high-end finishes.
Okay, let's break this down. Synthetic materials are perfect for things that need to be weatherproof, super resilient.
Right.
But I can imagine that trying to layer on all those heat-intensive processes needed for embellishments could lead to some meltdowns, literally.
You've hit the nail on the head. Standard embellishment techniques often involve multiple steps that use heat. You've got lamination, the UV curing for spot varnish, and then the heat needed for applying foil.
A lot of heat.
A lot of heat. Doing all of that, one after the other, on heat-sensitive vinyl and polyester is a real tightrope walk. Most print shops tend to steer clear of it because of the risk. Damaging the material, things not sticking properly.
So how are bigDAWGS pulling off this seemingly impossible feat? It sounds like printing wizardry.
They have indeed found a way. While the super specific technical ins and outs are their secret naturally,
Of course.
we know the general flow and some clever adaptations. It starts with electrostatic color printing using Konica Minolta presses. Interestingly, they can manually tweak the fuser temperature and use lower temp toners.
Managing the heat from step one.
Seems likely, yeah. A key first step on these materials.
Makes perfect sense, starting with a gentler heat foundation. What happens next in this printing ballet?
Next up is thermal lamination. Now, typically you'd think cold lamination for vinyl, right? To avoid heat.
Right.
But bigDAWGS is successfully using thermal lamination gloss, matte, even holographic and soft touch with incredibly precise control over temperature and pressure.
Wow. That is unusual for vinyl.
Very. It suggests they've really fine-tuned it to get that bond without harming the synthetic material. And that lamination probably adds some robustness too.
So they're intentionally taking the path less traveled with thermal lam on vinyl and making it work beautifully. Pretty innovative already. What about the actual bling, the embellishments?
Following the lamination, they digitally apply raised UV varnish using a specialized system. Super accurate application. That clear, shiny varnish builds up for that cool 3D tactile effect.
The touchy-feely part.
Exactly. And while UV curing generates some heat, that laminated base provides a more stable foundation. They prep the surface too, maybe corona treatment to make sure it sticks perfectly.
And then comes the pièce de résistance, that touch of pure luxury. Raised foil.
You got it. If a client wants that extra sparkle, they can then apply raised foil right on top of that UV varnish.
Which also involves heat and pressure.
Right. So successfully doing that on synthetic material after all the previous steps, quite an achievement.
It sounds like a meticulously choreographed sequence. And what happens at the very end?
The final act involves cutting the sheets into final shapes using specialized cutters. They become incredible stickers, eye-catching labels, or get applied to other things like magnets or banners.
Right.
And they also carefully manage static electricity, using humidity control, anti-static fans, always a challenge with plastics.
Okay, so why is this combination of materials and high-end embellishment such a big deal? What's the big picture here?
Think about it. You've got the toughness of synthetics boosted by that thermal lamination, great durability.
Right.
But then you're also getting these amazing premium embellishments, raised UV, dazzling raised foil. Traditionally, durable labels are functional, but maybe not gorgeous.
Pretty plain, yeah.
And beautifully embellished things are often on less robust paper. bigDAWGS' unique process seems to smash those two worlds together.
So this unlocks a whole new universe of possibilities. Stuff that's stunning to look at and touch, but also built to last.
Exactly.
And this is where it gets really exciting because you've pointed out some truly unique offerings that bigDAWGS can create thanks to this process. Things your average print shop probably can't easily do.
Precisely. Because they've mastered this complex process on synthetics, they can create some truly novel and impactful products. Take car magnets with raised foil finishes.
Foil on a car magnet.
Yeah. When we looked into it, it seems pretty rare, especially for larger sizes. Imagine a car magnet not just shouting your brand, but with this premium, tactile feel, real metallic shine. That's going to turn some heads.
It's definitely going to make your minivan stand out in the school parking lot.
Yeah.
What other big ideas have they brought to life with this?
Another fascinating one is floor graphics with raised foil finishes.
Floor graphics. With foil! Get out!
Seriously. Again, seems very uncommon. But with bigDAWGS' process, you could have stunning floor graphics in retail or at events that also have that premium visual and tactile dimension. Talk about making a memorable impression underfoot.
Now that's what I call a conversation starter.
Yeah.
It sounds like they're taking everyday functional print items and injecting them with a serious dose of big personality.
That's it, exactly. And it's not just magnets and floors. Because they can do foil and UV on this thermally laminated synthetic media, the potential spills over into banners, wall graphics, window graphics.
Oh, wow.
Picture a banner with shimmering foil accents catching the light at an event, or a window graphic with a raised UV texture. It just elevates these typically larger format pieces.
That's a whole new level of sophistication and impact. So we're talking about the potential for a truly big impact here, right? Taking these often overlooked or purely functional print applications, and making them, well, bigger, bolder, and way more attention-grabbing.
You've got it. It's all about using this unique capability to craft marketing materials that truly stand out from the crowd and leave a lasting impression.
Makes sense.
There's definitely a desire in the market for both visually stunning print that can handle real-world use. bigDAWGS seems to be brilliantly positioned right at that intersection.
So to wrap up this deep dive, what's the key takeaway for our listeners?
The core message is the exciting and truly unique innovation in successfully combining high-end embellishments like raised foil and spot UV with synthetic materials through their special process.
Something you don't see every day.
Not at all. It opens up a whole new landscape for creating printed products that are both visually stunning and remarkably resilient. It's about making a big statement with your print.
Right, about going beyond the ordinary. Car magnets with luxury, floor graphics you can feel, banners that shimmer and shine. These are just examples of how print can transcend the expected and create a truly lasting impression.
Precisely. It really makes you think about how print can be so much more than just ink on paper, doesn't it?
It really does. And on that thought, which is definitely something to chew on, we reach the end of our deep dive for today.
Food for thought.
Consider this. How could these unique embellished printing capabilities inject a serious dose of big impact into your next project or marketing campaign? What kind of unforgettable impression could you make by combining high-end aesthetics with real-world resilience? Definitely something to ponder. Thanks for diving deep with us.